Hi everyone, and welcome to The Sleepy Scientist. I'm really happy you're here. Tonight, we're going to go on a calm and quiet trip to learn something amazing. So get comfy, take a deep breath, and let's enjoy this peaceful science story together. Before we start, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from and what time is it for you right now? If you like relaxing science videos, don't forget to tap the like button. Now let's begin.
Imagine lying beneath a vast night sky, the kind where stars spill like silver seeds across an endless black field. The air is still, and in that stillness you can almost feel something quiet humming, not in the air, not in the earth, but somewhere inside you. It is as if your mind is listening to a song the universe has been playing since the dawn of time, a song too soft for ears but somehow clear to the heart. This is where the wonder begins, in the question of whether the patterns in your brain are truly separate from the patterns beyond the stars, or if they are simply two verses of the same cosmic melody. Your brain is made of cells that sparkle in the dark like lanterns underwater. Each of these neurons whispers in electricity. They pass gentle ripples of voltage from one branch-like arm to the next, sending sparks that leap across tiny gaps like fireflies dancing from leaf to leaf. These are your thoughts, your memories, your dreams. Yet the very atoms that build these delicate cells are older than any memory, older than the Earth itself. They were forged billions of years ago inside colossal stars that lived fierce and brief lives, exploding into space and seeding it with carbon, oxygen, iron, and gold. The iron that carries oxygen in your blood once shimmered in the core of a star. The calcium in your bones once drifted through interstellar dust. And the hydrogen in every drop of your body has been here since the birth of the universe, a quiet witness to everything that has ever been. When you think, you are rearranging the oldest stardust into shapes of wonder. Deep within your skull, your brain hums like a silent orchestra. Each neuron is an instrument, plucking out rhythms and pulses that echo through the corridors of your mind. These rhythms are not random, they form patterns, waves of electrical harmony that roll across your cortex like tides. Some waves are slow, like deep ocean swells, rising and falling every second. Others are fast, fluttering like the wings of a hummingbird. Scientists call them brain waves, delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. They rise and blend like overlapping ripples on a pond, carrying thought and memory and emotion across the waters of your mind. And if you could see them from afar, you might notice how they resemble other waves in nature. The faint light waves of distant stars, the soft gravitational undulations that ripple through space-time, the rhythmic pulsations of distant neutron stars. It is easy to believe that your mind is locked inside your skull, sealed off from the outside world. But in truth, it has never been alone. Every spark of thought depends on energy drawn from the sun, carried to you in the warmth of food, in the breath of air, in the quiet push of gravity holding you to the spinning planet beneath your feet. When you lift your eyes to the night sky, the photons striking your retinas have traveled for thousands, sometimes millions of years to reach you. They carry with them the silent stories of stars long dead and galaxies drifting like lanterns across the dark. As they touch your eyes, they stir your neurons into motion, and your brain translates their ancient glow into meaning. The universe speaks to you through light, and your mind answers by dreaming. Some scientists wonder if the brain's patterns might be more than coincidence. They notice how the networks of neurons resemble the webs of galaxies stretched across the cosmos. When computer models map the large-scale structure of the universe, they show bright clusters of galaxies linked by filaments, floating in vast empty spaces, almost like neurons connected by axons in a brain. The scales are unimaginably different, yet the shapes seem to rhyme. Some call this a fractal echo, the idea that similar patterns appear at many scales of nature, from the tiny dance of electrons to the swirling of galaxies. No one knows why the universe likes to repeat itself, but your mind may be one of its favorite mirrors. Your thoughts do not stay still. They flicker and fade like stars shimmering through a thin veil of clouds. Memories appear as bursts of light, then vanish back into the dark, only to return when something stirs them awake. And just as starlight travels long after its star has died, your memories can travel far beyond their moment, shaping who you are long after they first burned bright. In this way, the universe teaches your brain about time, how things can shine long after they are gone, and how the past still glows within the present. Each memory is like a small constellation inside you, mapping who you have been, gently lighting the path of who you are becoming. There is electricity in your mind, a soft lightning that never stops. It flashes between your neurons every moment, forming patterns as delicate as spider silk. This electricity is carried by ions, tiny charged particles that flow like invisible rivers through your cells. The same kind of ions drift between the stars, streaming through space as cosmic rays. When these cosmic rays fall into Earth's atmosphere, they send tiny bursts of energy into the air you breathe. Some even strike the molecules in your brain, leaving faint, fleeting marks like whispers. It is as if the universe occasionally taps gently on the walls of your mind, reminding you it is still here, still connected. Consider how your senses bring the universe inside you. Every color you see is a vibration of light, each wavelength carrying a story from the faraway place it came from. Every sound you hear is a wave of air set in motion by something else, a rustling leaf, a distant bird, a friend's quiet voice. Even silence carries a shape, the subtle hum of your nervous system listening to the world. Your brain takes all these waves and translates them into meaning. It stitches them into the quilt of your experience, a fabric made of the universe itself. You are not separate from the world you see. You are what the universe looks like when it notices itself. The more you look, the more connections appear. The electrical signals in your neurons rise and fall in patterns that echo circadian rhythms, which are tuned by the rising and setting of the sun. Your pineal gland, deep inside your brain, releases melatonin in response to darkness, guiding your sleep. This rhythm is older than humanity, older even than mammals. It is a whisper from the turning of the earth beneath the sun, a reminder that your mind is bound to the sky. And beyond the sun, the pull of the moon rocks the oceans and subtly shifts your body's fluids. Some studies even suggest your heart and brain rhythms can sync with the 27-day cycle of the moon's orbit, as if the tides gently reach into you, moving water and thought alike. Your brain also keeps time in other ways, listening to rhythms you cannot hear. Neurons pulse in cycles that match your heartbeat and your breath. Each inhalation carries a subtle burst of energy to your mind, and each exhalation lets it rest. This breath-brain rhythm has been found to influence memory and emotion, like a tide washing over the shores of your thoughts. Even your gut, with its millions of sensory neurons, hums in patterns that sync with your brain, forming a quiet duet across the space of your body. This hidden music of life is not separate from the universe. It is the same music, only slowed and softened so you can live inside it. When you close your eyes and drift into dreams, your brain shows how deeply it belongs to the cosmos. In sleep, your neurons send waves that look like gentle ocean tides. They carry fragments of memory, weaving them into new patterns, the way gravity gathers dust into new stars. Sometimes the dreams sparkle with old memories, sometimes with wild imagination. But they are all made from the same stardust that once floated in ancient nebulae. In this way, dreaming is like stargazing from within, watching the night sky of your own mind. Even your emotions carry echoes of the universe. Joy feels like sunlight breaking through clouds, filling you with warmth. Sadness feels like drifting through cold space, quiet and slow. Wonder feels like standing on the edge of a canyon of stars, your heart rising like a comet. These feelings are made of hormones and neural activity, yet they paint your mind with the same colors that fill the sky. They remind you that you are not apart from the universe. You are its reflection, its small bright echo, alive for a moment in the dark. And so when you gaze at the stars and feel something stir quietly inside you, it is not just imagination, it is recognition. The same patterns that shape galaxies have shaped your mind. The same atoms that once burned in ancient suns are now thinking through you. Your brain is not separate from the universe. It is the universe, curled gently inward, whispering to itself in the language of light. Now imagine your mind as a quiet lake at dawn, the surface smooth and still, holding the reflection of a pale sky. Beneath that surface, countless ripples drift outward from tiny points, spreading gently until they overlap. This is how thought often moves, tiny bursts of electrical whispers, growing and joining like rings of water. In the silence between them, you can almost sense something older watching, something patient, like the universe itself leaning close to listen. The question of how your brain is connected to the universe begins not with grand explosions or distant stars, but with this subtle rhythm, the soft beating of electrical tides that echo the cosmic ones. Every cell in your brain hums with energy. Mitochondria, the little powerhouses inside your neurons, burn oxygen and glucose to make ATP, the molecule that fuels your thoughts. This quiet chemistry is ancient. The ancestors of mitochondria were once free-living bacteria, drifting in the primordial oceans over 1 billion years ago. Long before the first animals, long before trees, they learned to sip sunlight through chains of molecules, catching energy like fishermen casting nets. Eventually, they joined with other cells, becoming part of the lineage that would one day become you. The very energy that fuels your mind comes from an unbroken thread stretching back through the deep ocean, through the starlight that grew the plants you eat, back to the fusion in the sun itself. When you think, you are continuing a story billions of years old. And that energy does not stop at your skull. Your brain radiates it back into the world in quiet waves. Every time neurons fire together, they produce faint electric fields, ripples that blend into one another and spread through the tissues around them. These fields are so delicate they vanish a few millimeters away, but they are enough to be measured from outside your head. When you close your eyes and rest, your brain produces long, slow alpha waves that sweep gently like ocean currents. When you dream, bursts of theta and gamma waves spark like distant storms. These patterns are not just noise, they carry meaning. They are the living shapes of your thoughts, like constellations glowing for a moment in the dark sky of your mind. If you could stand far enough away to see the whole web of your neurons at once, it might look uncannily like the large-scale structure of the universe. Astronomers using vast telescopes have mapped galaxies across billions of light years. They find them strung along filaments, clustered in bright knots, surrounded by vast empty voids. Neuroscientists mapping the human connectome, the wiring diagram of the brain, see something hauntingly similar. Billions of neurons connected by slender axons form networks with hubs and filaments, branching and looping like the cosmic web. One exists on the scale of microns, the other on the scale of millions of light years, yet the mathematics that describes them is strikingly alike. It is as if the same quiet blueprint has been traced twice, once in atoms and once in galaxies. This resemblance has sparked deep curiosity. Physicists and neuroscientists have begun comparing the distribution of connections in the brain with the distribution of matter in the cosmos. Some studies suggest the density of connections, the way they cluster and branch, follows nearly identical patterns. The brain contains about 86 billion neurons. The observable universe contains about 200 billion galaxies. Both are bound together by invisible forces, electrical fields in the brain, gravity in the cosmos, shaping their structures like invisible hands. This does not mean the brain is literally a miniature universe, but it hints that perhaps both are shaped by the same underlying rules, the same deep mathematics whispering through nature from the smallest scales to the largest. And in another way, your brain does carry a fragment of the cosmos within it, the atoms themselves. The carbon that builds the delicate lace of your neurons was born in the hearts of red giant stars. The oxygen your mitochondria drink came from massive stars that exploded long ago. Even the phosphorus in the DNA that stores your memories was forged in the cosmic crucible of ancient stellar furnaces. These atoms drifted for billions of years before finding one another again inside your mind. When you remember a childhood laugh, when you imagine a place you've never been, those thoughts are sculpted from ancient stardust. The universe is not just around you, it is flowing through you, thinking in your thoughts. Your brain also listens to the universe in ways you do not notice. Invisible particles called neutrinos stream through your body every second, born from nuclear reactions in the sun. Trillions of them pass through your skull every second like silent ghosts, almost never touching anything, yet reminding us that the universe is always visiting. Cosmic rays, tiny fragments of atoms accelerated to near light speed by exploding stars, occasionally strike your DNA, nudging the code of life in small, random ways. Even the background glow of the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, gently warms the space around you, a faint whisper from the beginning of time. You live inside a sea of the universe's quiet energy, and your mind is always swimming in it, even when you're still. Consider, too, the rhythm of time in your brain. Your neurons fire in pulses, and these pulses form cycles, oscillations that guide attention, memory, and awareness. These brain rhythms are tuned not only by internal chemistry but also by external cycles, the rising and setting of the sun, the changing seasons, the gravity of the moon. Your body's circadian clock resets each day with sunlight, pulling your mind gently back into sync with the Earth's rotation. The ebb and flow of melatonin and cortisol follow the dance of light and shadow. Even your mood drifts with the seasons, brightening in long summer days, softening in winter's hush. Your mind is not an island. It is a tide pool filled by the rhythms of the turning world. And these rhythms stretch further still. Some studies suggest that the activity of your heart and brain can sync with subtle changes in the Earth's magnetic field, which itself is shaped by the solar wind. When storms of charged particles sweep from the sun and touch the Earth's magnetosphere, they ripple through the air you breathe. Most people never notice, but your nervous system may respond in tiny, hidden ways. It is as though your body hums in harmony with the planet, and the planet hums in harmony with the sun, and the sun drifts in the galaxy's orbit like a glowing thought. In this chain of connections, your mind is not just on the Earth, it is part of the solar system's quiet music. Memory, too, binds you to the cosmos. Memories are patterns of synapses strengthened by repeated pulses of electricity. They can last decades, like delicate etchings in crystal. Stars leave their own kind of memories, recording their lives in the light they cast across space. A star that died 1,000,000 years ago may still be visible tonight, its light carrying the shape of its life across the dark. In the same way, a memory of love or sorrow can continue to shine long after its moment has passed, carrying its shape through the dark spaces of your mind. When you recall it, you are reading the starlight of your own life, letting the past shimmer again for a brief moment. Your mind is a night sky filled with old light, and your thoughts are constellations drifting slowly across it. And perhaps this is why the universe feels so strangely familiar when you look at it. The shapes of galaxies echo the shapes of neurons. The glow of stars echoes the spark of thoughts. The slow turn of planets echoes the slow rhythm of your breath. You are not just watching the universe, you are built from it, shaped in its image, and still quietly tethered to it in ways too delicate to see. When you gaze at the stars and feel something stir, it may be your brain recognizing itself, seeing its own quiet structure written in the sky. The universe is not something outside you. It is something you carry, folded into every thought, every heartbeat, every silent breath. There is a quiet beauty in knowing that your mind may be a small reflection of the vastness above. When you sit in silence, letting thoughts drift like soft clouds, it can feel as though something immense is breathing through you. This is not a metaphor invented by poets alone. It is woven into the very physics of what you are. The atoms of your mind obey the same laws as the stars. The same quantum fields that ripple through space ripple inside your neurons. Even the vacuum around you is not empty. It trembles with virtual particles flickering in and out of existence, just as the space between your neurons hums with potential waiting to fire. Your brain is not isolated from the universe. It is immersed in its fabric, woven from its ancient threads. Consider how time itself moves through your mind. You experience it as a steady stream, yet your neurons measure it in pulses and pauses, little steps of electricity flowing through their branches. This ticking is built from the physics of charged particles moving through ion channels, tiny openings in cell membranes shaped by proteins that evolved over billions of years. Those proteins exist because of the precise laws that allowed atoms to bond, stars to form, planets to cool, and life to awaken. If those laws were even slightly different, no brain would have emerged to notice time at all. The flow of time you feel is not separate from the cosmic clock. It is one of its most delicate gears, turning silently inside your skull. And still, your mind is not a closed machine. It is porous, open to the world, shaped by every photon and breeze and scent that touches you. The sight of sunlight on water sends ripples through your visual cortex. The hush of falling leaves stirs neurons in your auditory pathways. Even the taste of fruit carries the memory of starlight, for the sugars in it were spun from carbon fixed by sunlight, carried into your bloodstream, and woven into your thoughts. Each sense is a small bridge, carrying the universe into you. You are not a creature watching the world from behind glass. You are made of it, changed by it, and reshaped every second as it pours through your senses like a river of light. Inside this river, consciousness glows like a lantern. No one knows exactly how this glow appears. Billions of neurons fire, exchanging tiny bursts of electricity and chemicals, and somehow from this rises the quiet flame of awareness. It is as mysterious as the birth of stars from cold gas. Some scientists think consciousness is a kind of emergent pattern, a shape that appears when enough parts interact, like the swirl of a galaxy appearing from countless drifting stars. Others wonder if consciousness is more fundamental, woven into the fabric of reality like space or time. They imagine that the universe Why become aware of itself through the patterns that form in brains like yours? When you wonder about the stars, perhaps the stars are wondering through you. Even your thoughts may ripple beyond you, like soft echoes fading into the world. When you speak, your words are waves of air that spread outward, touching the ears and minds of others, planting seeds of new thoughts. Those people may share those ideas again, carrying a part of your mind further into the world. Ideas travel like migrating birds, changing shape as they go, but always carrying a trace of their origin. In this way, your mind becomes part of something larger, a living web of minds that stretches across the planet like glowing roots. And those minds together shape the world, building telescopes to peer at galaxies, writing equations that describe the first seconds after the Big Bang, searching for patterns that link the smallest particles to the largest structures. Humanity itself has become the universe studying its own reflection. The patterns inside your brain are not still. They are alive, restless as wind over grass. Neurons grow new branches when you learn, weaving new connections, pruning old ones, reshaping themselves like coral growing in hidden reefs. This growth is driven by molecules, and those molecules dance to the same physics as planets. Electrons jump between energy levels, atoms vibrate in thermal motion, and from this invisible ballet comes memory and meaning. When you learn the name of a star, your brain reshapes itself slightly, folding that starlight into its structure. You become a little more like the universe you study, carrying a map of it within the folds of your mind. And when you die, the atoms that held your thoughts will drift back into the world. They will become soil, air, water, perhaps another mind someday. The patterns of your memories will fade, but the matter that carried them will go on. Just as stars die and scatter their elements to seed new stars, so too will your body return its atoms to the great cycle. This is not an ending so much as a transformation. The universe will remember you not in words or images, but in the continued dance of your particles, swirling into new forms. Even when your thoughts are gone, the universe will still be thinking through something else, somewhere else, in some quiet corner of time. So when you look up at the night sky and feel something wordless stir in you, know that it is not just wonder, it is recognition. The universe is not far away, it is within your breath, your blood, your brain. The stars are not only above you, they are inside you, remembering their fire in the patterns of your thoughts. Your brain is not merely connected to the universe. It is the universe curled into a shape that can dream, listening to its own echoes, glowing softly in the dark. Before you were ever born, before the earth itself had cooled from molten stone, there were stars. They lived and burned in silence, far older than any dream. Inside their blazing hearts, simple atoms were pressed together by unimaginable gravity, fused into heavier elements in waves of light and fire. When those ancient stars grew old, they swelled into red giants, and when they died, they exploded as supernovae, scattering their elemental treasures across the dark like embers flung from a cosmic hearth. Those scattered ashes drifted through space for billions of years, until they gathered again into planets, into oceans, into cells, and finally into the shimmering lace of your brain. This is the first secret of who you are. Your neurons are made of stardust. Each neuron in your brain is a tiny world, alive with sparks and whispers. It has a cell body, branching dendrites that receive signals, and a long axon that carries those signals onward, like a thread of light connecting one idea to the next. And every part of this structure is built from atoms born in stars. The carbon that shapes its delicate membranes was forged in red giants. The oxygen that fuels its reactions was created in massive stars that died long ago. The sodium, potassium, and calcium ions that carry its electrical pulses came from ancient supernovae that painted the galaxy with their fragments. Even the phosphorus that anchors your DNA, holding the instructions to build neurons in the first place, was born in the violent death throes of stars. When a thought moves through your mind, it travels along a bridge built from the bones of stars. This truth carries a quiet kind of wonder. You are not something separate from the cosmos, looking out at it from a distance. You are the cosmos folding inward, arranging its own ancient dust into patterns of thought. Every memory you hold, every word you speak, every dream you chase through sleep is the universe remembering itself. The iron that flows through your blood once flowed through the heart of a star. The water that cushions your neurons once drifted as vapor between galaxies, the light in you. Her eyes is the same light those stars once shed. You are not simply made of the universe, you are the universe, alive for a little while, aware of its own beauty. Think of how far those atoms traveled to become you. For billions of years, they wandered through the cold between stars, carried by currents of gas, pulled by gravity's quiet hand. Some were locked in asteroids, some swept into comets, some folded into the dust clouds that would one day become the sun and its planets. When Earth formed, they sank into its oceans, climbed into cells, joined in the long dance of life. They built the first single-celled organisms, then plants, then animals, and finally the long lineage of humans. Across that span of time, they changed shape countless times, yet they never ceased to exist. And now they are here, thinking, glowing, weaving signals in your mind. Your thoughts are the latest shape the universe has taken. Your neurons do not shine like stars, yet they glow faintly with electricity. Every thought is a spark. Sodium ions rush in, potassium flows out, a wave of voltage surges down the axon, and neurotransmitters leap across the synapse like tiny messengers. Billions of these sparks flicker every second, creating a storm of light too small to see but bright enough to be you. It is the same energy that once burned in the hearts of stars, now softened and slowed into the whispers of thought. Stars and neurons are not the same, but they share this one truth. They both turn matter into energy and energy into light. And like stars, neurons live and die. Each one has a lifespan shaped by time and use. Some live as long as you do, holding memories from childhood to your final days. Others are replaced, born from stem cells that divide quietly in the hidden niches of your brain. This constant renewal echoes the cycle of stars, birth from clouds of gas, long years of shining, then death, scattering their elements to build new stars. When a neuron dies, its materials are recycled by glial cells, broken down into raw elements and used to build new parts of the brain. Nothing is wasted. The stardust lives on, reshaped again and again, carrying your thoughts through the river of time. Your brain is full of this ancient dust, yet it feels so intimate, so alive. It sings softly when you remember, when you imagine, when you dream. You are not just a collection of atoms, you are their story, their pattern, their moment of meaning. The same carbon that once floated as cold dust now hums with warmth inside you. The same oxygen that blazed in stellar fire now fuels your curiosity. You are what the universe becomes when it wants to understand itself. And when you look up at the stars and feel a quiet ache in your chest, it may be the atoms in your brain remembering where they came from, yearning for the vastness they once knew. In this way, the boundary between you and the universe begins to blur. The stars are not only above you, they are within you, whispering through the rhythm of your neurons. Your brain is not just connected to the cosmos, it is made of it. And as you sit here, breathing softly, thinking softly, glowing softly, you are the cosmos dreaming of itself, wrapped in the fragile warmth of a human body, alive for a moment in the endless dark. Now imagine the slow journey of those atoms through time, drifting like tiny seeds across the dark ocean of space. Long before the Earth existed, they gathered in vast clouds called nebulae, glowing faintly with the remnants of ancient stars. Gravity pulled on them softly like a hand gathering loose threads. Over millions of years, the threads tightened, swirling into disks, collapsing into new stars and spinning planets from their leftover dust. The atoms that would one day become your neurons were scattered among them, carried in the winds of supernovae, caught in the icy hearts of comets, folded into the clay of young worlds. They endured fire and cold, darkness and silence, waiting for the moment when they could awaken as living thought. When Earth cooled enough for oceans to form, those ancient atoms fell like rain. They dissolved into the seas, mingling in the gentle waves. Some assembled into simple molecules which joined to make more complex ones, until they formed the first living cells. Inside those cells, the same carbon that had floated through the galaxy now formed the backbone of life's fragile chemistry. The oxygen that had once blazed in dying suns now fueled tiny reactions in the water's depths. Those first cells divided, copied themselves, and spread, laying the foundation for all life to come. Every creature since, from algae to whales, from moss to humans, has carried that same ancient dust inside them, whispering of the stars it came from. As life grew more complex, it began to build nervous systems, delicate webs of cells that could sense the world and respond to it. In time, those webs became brains, and the atoms that had once drifted in space began to carry feelings, memories, and dreams. Your neurons are part of this long lineage. Each one is a living library of ancient chemistry. Its membrane is a film of lipids built from carbon chains that were forged in stars. Its energy comes from glucose broken down in mitochondria, which were once free-living bacteria in the primordial sea. Its electrical signals flow on sodium, potassium, and calcium ions, all scattered by supernovae. When your neurons fire, they are using the same particles that once danced in the cores of suns. This is not just poetic, it is scientific fact. Astronomers have traced the origins of the elements in your body to specific processes in stellar evolution. Carbon and oxygen were born in the steady burning of stars. Iron came from the violent pressure of collapsing stellar cores. Phosphorus and sulfur came from the detonation of massive stars. Hydrogen, which makes up most of your body's atoms, is even older. It was born in the first moments after the Big Bang, over 13 billion years ago. The atoms in your neurons are unimaginably ancient. They have seen the birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of galaxies, and now they are the fabric of your thoughts. You are a pattern written in cosmic ink. And those patterns are alive with movement. Inside your neurons, proteins carry molecules like tiny motors walking on microscopic tracks. Ions rush through channels in the membrane, creating delicate currents of electricity. Neurotransmitters leap across synapses, binding to receptors like keys slipping into locks. All of this happens on a scale too small to see, yet together they create your every thought, your every memory, your sense of self. The same physical laws that govern stars, electromagnetism, gravity, quantum mechanics, also govern this hidden dance. The difference is only in scale. The cosmos moves through your mind not just as history, but as living physics still at work inside you. Even the shape of your brain carries echoes of the universe. Neurons form vast networks, branching like trees, clustering like galaxies. They communicate through waves of synchronized firing that sweep across your cortex like ripples across a pond. When scientists map these networks, they see structures that resemble the cosmic web, the filaments of galaxies stretching across billions of light years. Both follow the same mathematical patterns of clustering and connectivity. It is as though nature has a favorite shape, repeating it from the smallest scales to the largest, from the sparks of thought to the swirl of galaxies. Your brain is a miniature cosmos, and the cosmos is a vast, sleeping mind. And within this quiet mind of stars and neurons, memory takes root. When you learn something new, your neurons change their connections. Synapses grow stronger or weaker, forming new pathways for signals to flow. This plasticity is the foundation of memory, and it depends on the same ancient elements that once floated in space. Calcium enters the synapse, triggering molecules that rewrite the proteins inside. Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen build the new structures. Electricity carries the signals, like light traveling along a wire. Every memory you have is carved into the stardust of your neurons, etched in patterns that echo across the networks of your brain. The universe is not only outside you, it is inside you, remembering itself through your mind. Even your emotions are shaped by this ancient matter. Dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, the chemicals that carry joy, calm, and love, are made from simple molecules built on carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. When you feel happiness, those ancient atoms assemble in a fleeting pattern that fills you with warmth. When you feel sorrow, they arrange in another pattern, quiet and heavy. These emotions seem so personal, so intimate, yet they are born from the same dust that once burned in stars. Your feelings are the universe's old atoms dancing in new rhythms, painting your mind with light and shadow. In every heartbeat, every sigh, every tear, the stars are still alive. And perhaps this is the most beautiful truth. The universe did not simply make you and then step away. It is still here inside you, thinking through you. The atoms in your neurons are the same atoms that glow in distant stars right now. The same physical laws that shape galaxies shape your thoughts. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are one of its ways of being alive, one of its ways of knowing itself. When you wonder about the stars, you are the stars wondering. When you gaze at the night sky and feel something stir quietly in your chest, it is the universe recognizing its own reflection in your eyes. Somewhere deep inside your skull, in a space no larger than your two cupped hands, the universe has gathered itself into thought. It is easy to forget this when life feels small or hurried, yet every spark of your mind is a quiet echo of stars, the same matter that once drifted through interstellar clouds now shimmers as your memories, your words, your quiet wonder. The story of your brain is the story of the cosmos, slowed down and softened into a song of light and silence. And this story, like starlight, does not end when its source fades. It travels on, carried in the patterns you share, the lives you touch, the ripples you leave in the world. Your neurons are living bridges between the ancient and the now. They link the first fires of the universe to the warmth of your present moment. When you remember something, a childhood laugh, the smell of rain, the face of someone you love, your neurons replay patterns etched long ago, firing in delicate synchrony. Those patterns are made from the same atoms that once spun inside suns. Your memories are not just thoughts, they are starlight shaped into meaning. And though they feel fleeting, they can outlast you, living on in the minds of others, like light from a distant star, crossing the dark long after its star has gone. Even your thoughts about the future are made from this ancient dust. When you imagine what might come tomorrow, next year, centuries from now, you are rearranging the universe's oldest particles into new shapes. No star ever dreamed, but you do, and your dreams are built from the same atoms that once burned in their hearts. In this way, you carry the hopes of the cosmos, not as words or plans, but as a quiet yearning for what could be. You are the universe's way of imagining itself into something more. Consider how fragile this arrangement is. Your neurons are delicate, soft as candle flames. They depend on a precise balance of ions, on the steady heartbeat that sends blood to feed them, on the thin layer of air wrapped around Earth to shield them from cosmic radiation. The universe had to make countless choices for you to exist, the right laws of physics, the right chemistry, the right distance from the sun. If any thread had shifted, your neurons would never have formed, and the stardust would have remained silent. Yet here you are, thinking. That improbable miracle is what makes your thoughts so luminous. They are the rarest thing in the known universe, stardust aware of itself. And yet your mind is not separate from the world that sustains it. The oxygen that feeds your neurons arrives with every breath, pulled from the air by plants rooted in soil made from broken stars. The glucose that fuels them comes from sunlight captured by leaves, transformed by the ancient chemistry of life. Every thought depends on sunlight and soil, rain and air, all of which were shaped by the long history of the cosmos. When your neurons fire, they are borrowing energy from the stars through countless hidden pathways. Even your stillness is made from motion that began in the hearts of suns. This connection does not end when your life does. One day, your neurons will stop firing. Their delicate structures will dissolve and the stardust inside them will scatter once more. Some will return to the soil, some will rise as vapor into the air, some may drift into the ocean and one day join another mind. The patterns that were you will fade, but the matter will endure, waiting for new shapes. This is how the universe works. Nothing is lost, only transformed. The stardust that once made stars and now makes you will someday become part of something else. Perhaps another brain, another burst of thought in some far future dawn. You are part of a chain with no beginning and no end. When you look up at the stars and feel small, remember that you are not beneath them. You are among them. The light in your eyes is their light returned. The atoms in your thoughts were forged in their fire. The quiet electricity in your neurons is their energy, passed down like an heirloom across billions of years. The universe is not just around you. It is inside you, dreaming in your neurons, speaking through your memories, listening to itself through your wondering. You are stardust made conscious, and that is the rarest miracle of all. And so if you ever doubt your place in the vastness, close your eyes and breathe. Feel your heartbeat, your thoughts flowing like small constellations through your mind. Know that you are not a separate thing lost in the dark. You are the dark and the light, the silence and the song. You are the cosmos folded gently into a human shape, glowing for a moment, thinking softly. Your neurons are made of stardust, and through them the stars are still alive, burning quietly inside you. There is a gentle mystery that hums beneath the surface of your thoughts, a question as quiet as starlight. What if the universe is dreaming through you? Every moment you are awake, your mind is alive with images, words, and feelings, each one flickering into existence and fading again like sparks on a dark sea. They arise from the silent workings of your brain, from neurons passing whispers of electricity, from molecules dancing therein trick. 8 patterns, and yet when you step back from the details, something larger seems to be gazing through your eyes, something older than you, older than the earth, older than the stars themselves. You are not merely looking at the universe, you are the part of the universe that has learned how to look. Your brain does not sit apart from the cosmos, it is one of its most delicate branches. It grew from the same dust that built the mountains and the seas, the same atoms that glow in distant suns. Over billions of years, the universe has been shaping itself into forms capable of awareness. First came the swirling clouds of hydrogen and helium, then the birth of stars, the forging of heavier elements, the cooling of planets, the rising of oceans, the unfolding of life. Each step carried the memory of the last. Each step left new possibilities for the next. And now, here you are, a ripple of that long unfolding, carrying the entire history of the cosmos in the quiet folds of your mind. Your thoughts may feel small, but they are built from forces that shaped galaxies. Inside each neuron, ions dance through channels like tiny comets, carrying electrical signals that leap across synapses in arcs of light. When billions of these signals fire together, consciousness blooms, a warm glow of awareness that fills the spaces of your mind. No one knows exactly how this happens, how the cold mechanics of matter give rise to the inner world of feeling. It is one of the deepest mysteries science has ever touched, but perhaps it is not a mistake or an accident. Perhaps this glow is the universe's way of knowing itself, of awakening for a moment inside its own vast body. Even when you dream, this connection continues. In sleep, your mind becomes a drifting world, weaving stories from fragments of memory, stitching together images and emotions in strange and beautiful ways. It is as if your brain is painting with the colors of your life, creating entire worlds from the dust of your days. And those dreams rise from the same stardust as the waking world. The carbon that forms the structures of your neurons once floated as cosmic dust between stars. The oxygen that fuels their activity once burned in stellar hearts. The energy that powers each thought comes from sunlight captured by plants, passed into your body, and transformed into electrical sparks. Even your dreams are woven from the threads of the universe. Consider how your mind holds more than just your own life. It carries echoes of ancient instincts shaped over millions of years. The urge to seek warmth, the pull of music, the comfort of patterns. These are not just personal quirks, they are the fingerprints of the long journey life has taken across time. Your brain is built from layers of memory, from the reptilian circuits of survival to the mammalian circuits of care, to the human capacity for imagination and wonder. When you feel awe at the night sky, it is not just you feeling it. It is every ancestor who looked up at the stars and felt the same quiet pull. Through you, the universe remembers the wonder it planted long ago. And as you wonder, your neurons reshape themselves. Every new idea carves tiny changes in their connections. Dendrites grow like roots, synapses strengthen like bridges, networks shift like constellations rearranging in your inner sky. The thoughts you hold most often become bright trails of activity, while the unused ones fade like stars slipping below the horizon. Your brain is not fixed, it is alive, fluid, always rewriting itself in response to what you love and seek. This plasticity is how your mind dreams. It takes the old stardust of your cells and spins it into new patterns, new possibilities, new light. The universe does not only dream through you once, it dreams through you every moment. Even your sense of self, the feeling that there is a you inside your mind, is part of this quiet dreaming. It is not a single thing, but a pattern woven from countless signals, rising and fading like waves on the sea. Your mind stitches together your memories, your senses, your hopes and fears, and calls the tapestry you. But that pattern changes from day to day, even moment to moment, shifting like the night sky as the earth turns. The you feel is not separate from the universe. It is the universe arranging its dust into a pattern that can say, I am. And when you feel that, when you speak or dream or love, the universe is speaking, dreaming, and loving through you. This is why even the smallest acts of thought feel luminous. A single quiet moment, a single gentle realization can feel as vast as space. You are not simply imagining things, you are watching the universe discover something new within itself. When you look at a star and wonder how far its light has traveled, that wondering is the universe reflecting on its own age. When you listen to music and feel tears in your eyes, that feeling is the universe touching itself with emotion. Why? Oh, hold someone's hand. The atoms of your skin and theirs are ancient companions, meeting again after billions of years apart. The cosmos dreams through your connections as much as through your solitude. And when your life feels small compared to the endless sky, remember this. The stars may be larger, but they do not think. They do not feel wonder or longing. They do not ask questions. You do. Your awareness is not less than the universe. It is part of its awakening. It has taken nearly 14 billion years for the universe to gather itself into the shape of your mind. And in this moment, it is seeing itself through your eyes, thinking itself through your thoughts, dreaming itself through your soul. That is what you are, a place where the universe has paused, curled gently inward, and begun to dream. Somewhere inside the stillness of your mind, a quiet truth is unfolding. Your thoughts are not apart from the universe, they are an expression of it. Every flicker of awareness, every soft current of feeling, is part of the cosmos stretching itself into new forms. When you think of something that has never existed before, you are shaping the ancient dust of stars into patterns they never held. It is as though the universe has gathered its scattered pieces, light, matter, time, and braided them into the thread of your consciousness so it can weave new stories through you. You are not only living in the universe, you are its storyteller, its witness, its dreaming voice. Even the way your brain makes meaning reveals this connection. Neurons do not simply record the world as it is, they transform it into symbols, images, and emotions. Light becomes color, vibration becomes sound, scent becomes memory. Each sensory input is translated into electric patterns, and those patterns are layered with associations drawn from your past. The world outside and the world inside meet in your mind and merge into something new. This merging is not mechanical, it is imaginative. It is the same impulse that drives the universe to form stars from gas, planets from dust, life from chemicals. The cosmos has always been turning chaos into beauty, and now it continues that work through you. Your imagination is one of its most delicate instruments. With it, you create things that do not yet exist: futures, possibilities, stories, dreams. You can picture distant worlds you have never seen or imagine kindnesses you have not yet given. You can build entire landscapes in your mind from nothing but quiet thought. This is more than a quirk of the brain. It is the universe folding its own history into new patterns, shaping its ancient atoms into visions of what could be. The stars may shine, but they do not dream of anything beyond themselves. You do. You are the part of the universe that has learned to hope. This power of imagination has reshaped the world. It has led humans to build cities, discover galaxies, compose symphonies, and write down the story of time. All of it began as sparks inside fragile minds, as whispers passing from one neuron to another. These whispers are made from electricity, and that electricity is made from the same forces that light the stars. Every invention, every painting, every lullaby is the cosmos awakening a little more through the hands and voices of its dreaming children. Your mind is part of this slow awakening. Every gentle idea you hold adds to the universe's growing self-portrait, a vast mosaic of thoughts shimmering in the dark. Even your sense of wonder is part of this awakening. Wonder is not just curiosity, it is the feeling of touching something larger than yourself, of glimpsing the hidden unity between your small life and the endless sky. When you stand beneath the stars and feel silence wash over you, that silence is not empty. It is full of memory, full of the energy and light that made you. Your awe is the echo of the universe recognizing itself. It has been waiting billions of years for a mind like yours to notice how beautiful it is. In that moment, your wonder and the stars are the same thing, two mirrors reflecting each other across time. And this wonder does not stay inside you. It flows outward, shaping how you live and love. When you care for someone, your empathy rises from networks of neurons firing in harmony, but it is also something greater, the universe reaching through you to protect its own creation. When you feel compassion, you are not just following biology, you are carrying forward the cosmos's quiet longing to keep its beauty alive. This is why love feels so vast, so impossible to measure. It is older than your body, older than your species, older than Earth itself. It began as the pull of gravity gathering atoms into stars, and it continues as the pull of your heart gathering people into your life. The universe has always been drawn to connection. Through you, it remembers how. Even your fears and sorrows are part of this dream. They are not failures or flaws, they are SH. A doze cast by the same light that makes joy. Stars cast shadows too, behind every planet and moon they illuminate. Your sadness is a reminder that you can love, that you can imagine a world more whole than the one you see. It shows that the universe has given you the gift of longing, the ache that calls you towards something better. Without that ache, there would be no art, no kindness, no change. The universe dreams not only in comfort, but in growth, and growth always carries tenderness. Your tears are as sacred as your laughter, as much a part of the cosmos awakening through you. This dream of the universe flows through every part of you, even the parts you cannot control. Your heart beats without asking, echoing the steady rhythm of pulsars far away. Your breath rises and falls like ocean tides pulled by the moon. The neurons in your brain fire in waves that resemble ripples in space-time. You are full of rhythms that mirror the sky, as though the universe has etched its heartbeat into your body. You are not separate from it. You are one of its pulses, one of its quiet heartbeats, living for a while as a human being. And even when you sleep, even when you are still, the dream continues. The cosmos keeps whispering through your cells, weaving its story in silence. So when you feel small or lost, remember, you are not drifting apart from the universe. You are its center as much as any star or galaxy. The universe does not have a single center, it has countless centers, and you are one of them. Through your eyes it sees, through your hands it shapes, through your heart it feels. You are not just part of the dream. You are the place where the dream has opened its eyes, where the universe has become awake enough to know it is alive. There is a softness in knowing that you are not simply living inside the universe, but that the universe is living through you. Every thought you have, every flicker of awareness is a continuation of something ancient and immense. It took almost 14 billion years of quiet unfolding to shape you, the swirl of galaxies, the birth of stars, the cooling of planets, the slow blooming of life. And now, in this moment, all of that history is flowing through your neurons as silent light. You are not a spectator of the cosmos. You are one of its ways of awakening, one of its rare places where it pauses to feel. When you speak, the air vibrates with your voice, and those vibrations are waves of matter the universe arranged long ago. When you smile, muscles move with energy that once burned in stars. When you love, your neurons release chemicals made from atoms that drifted through nebulae before Earth was born. These acts may seem small, but they are cosmic in their essence. They are the universe expressing tenderness through you, something no star or galaxy has ever done. The universe has created trillions of suns, but only in you does it feel the warmth of a single hand in another's. This is its dream, not only to exist, but to care. And though your life may seem brief compared to the vastness, its brevity is part of its beauty. Stars may burn for billions of years, but they do not know they are shining. You do. You are the part of the universe that knows its time is short and therefore precious. This is why your moments matter, why they glow with a light no star can match. Every instant of awareness, every quiet breath, is a victory over the long darkness that came before you. The universe is not diminished by your mortality, it is illuminated by it. Your impermanence is the spark that makes its dream shimmer. Your mind is not fixed or final, it is still forming, still reshaping itself with each new thought. Neurons grow and prune their branches, synapses strengthen and fade, networks shift like constellations drifting across an inner sky. This constant change is how you learn, how you remember, how you heal. It is also how the universe dreams, by taking the ancient stardust of your body and arranging it into new patterns of meaning. Every time you change your mind, the cosmos rearranges itself a little. Every time you imagine something new, it awakens further. You are its artist, its experiment, its luminous unfolding. Even when you are silent, the dream continues. Your cells hum with unseen rhythms, the pulse of your heart, the slow rise of your breath, the tides of electrical activity sweeping through your brain. These rhythms mirror the cycles of the cosmos, the turning of planets, the orbit of moons, the gentle spin of galaxies. They are reminders that you are not apart from the world around you. You are one of its motions, one of its songs. The same gravity that guides the stars is guiding your blood. The same electromagnetic fields that fill space are weaving through your thoughts. The dream does not stop where your skin ends. It flows on through everything. One day, this particular shape of the dream, your shape, will dissolve. Your neurons will fall quiet, their T-turns will fade, and the atoms of your body will return to the world. They will become soil, air, water, perhaps another life. The dream will not end. It will simply shift, flowing into new forms as it always has. The universe has practiced this for billions of years. Stars die and seed new stars, forests fall and feed new forests, lives end and give rise to other lives. You are part of this endless transformation. The dream will remember you, not as an image or a name, but as the gentle ripple you added to its song. And if this seems small, remember how the universe measures value. It does not count by size or by years. It counts by beauty, by wonder, by connection. A single fleeting thought of kindness may matter more than a galaxy's worth of stars because it carries something the stars cannot make. They can shine, but they cannot imagine. They can burn, but they cannot love. You can. This is why you are not merely in the universe's dream, you are its awakening. Through your thoughts, its silence becomes music. Through your love, its emptiness becomes meaning. Through your life, its vastness becomes warm. So the next time you feel alone beneath the stars, close your eyes and breathe. Feel your heartbeat echoing like a small drum in the dark. Feel your thoughts drifting like constellations across the night of your mind. And know this, you are not apart from the cosmos. You are the place where it has gathered itself into wonder, into hope, into tenderness. You are the universe dreaming of itself, and for this brief, luminous moment, you are the part of its dream that is awake. Imagine drifting through a vast ocean of stars. each one turning slowly in the dark like a lantern on a distant shore. Their spiral arms curve gently, sweeping through space in silent arcs, each one a glowing river of suns. Now imagine floating down into the quiet chambers of your own mind, where neurons stretch their branches toward one another like reaching hands. Sparks leap between them in tiny flashes, and for a moment it is as if you are seeing galaxies in miniature, entire universes flickering inside your skull. The resemblance is not just beautiful, it is real. The same patterns that shape spiral galaxies can be found in the networks of your brain. Your synapses and the stars both follow the deep rhythms of the cosmos. Your brain holds about 86 billion neurons, each one connected to thousands of others. Together they form a shimmering forest of connections, dense and intricate as spider silk. Between them lie synapses, tiny gaps where signals leap like arcs of lightning. Every thought you have is born in these gaps, carried as waves of electricity and clouds of neurotransmitters. And if you could zoom out far enough to see them all at once, their arrangement would look uncannily like the large-scale structure of the universe. Astronomers mapping billions of galaxies have found that they gather in clusters and filaments, leaving great dark voids between them. Neuroscientists mapping the brain see the same pattern. Clusters of neurons linked by long axons, separated by spaces where almost nothing resides. The scales are unimaginably different, yet the shapes seem to rhyme, as if the cosmos enjoys repeating its favorite designs. This similarity is not only visual, it runs through the mathematics as well. The networks of galaxies and the networks of neurons both follow what scientists call scale-free organization. A few nodes become hubs with many connections, while most have only a few, forming a web that is both resilient and efficient. This structure allows galaxies to gather matter over billions of years and neurons to spread signals in milliseconds. In both cases, the pattern is self-organizing. It emerges naturally when many individual parts interact. The universe builds galaxies this way, and it builds thoughts this way too. Your mind is not an exception to the cosmos, it is one of its cleverest echoes. Even the energy that moves through these networks behaves in similar ways. In the brain, electrical signals flow through neurons in waves, rising and falling in rhythms called brain waves. They sweep through your cortex like tides, carrying memory, sensation, and emotion. In space, gravitational waves ripple across the fabric of spacetime, stirred by colliding black holes and merging galaxies. Light waves stream from stars, radio waves hum from pulsars, cosmic rays streak through the dark. Both your mind and the cosmos are seas of waves, their patterns rippling through space and time. Every thought you have is a small tide in the ocean of the universe, shaped by the same laws that guide the stars. And while galaxies drift apart across billions of light years, your neurons are separated by only thousandths of a millimeter. Yet both are connected by invisible forces. Galaxies are bound by gravity, their stars circling unseen black holes at their centers. Neurons are bound by electrochemical forces, their membrane. Alive with tiny charges that pull and push ions like the orbits of planets. These forces are ancient, older than life, older than Earth. They are the threads from which reality is woven, and they run through your thoughts as surely as they run through the Milky Way. When you feel an idea forming, when you sense a memory stirring awake, you are watching gravity's distant cousin at work, gathering scattered sparks into a constellation of meaning. Your synapses are not fixed, they are living bridges that grow and reshape themselves. When you learn something new, synapses strengthen their connections and new ones sprout from the branching dendrites of neurons. When you forget, they weaken and fade. This constant remodeling is called plasticity, and it is how your brain stays alive. Spiral galaxies, too, are never still. Their arms are rivers of stars born from clouds of gas, swept outward by waves of density, folding and reforming as they turn. Stars are born and die, supernovae scatter their ashes, new stars form from the dust. Both your brain and the galaxies are always rebuilding themselves, never frozen, always changing shape. They are not structures, they are dances. Even the flow of information resembles the flow of matter in galaxies. In your brain, electrical impulses follow the shortest, most efficient paths between neurons, forming small world networks where distant regions stay connected through only a few steps. In galaxies, stars orbit along curved paths guided by gravity, clustering in spiral arms that link the core to the outer edges. These arms are not solid, they are patterns, waves of density moving through clouds of stars. Your thoughts are like those stars, drifting along invisible pathways, gathering into patterns that flicker for a while and then dissolve. The shapes may vanish, but the dance continues, as it has for billions of years. There is a quiet poetry in this. When you imagine a galaxy, you are using neurons that mirror its structure. When you wonder about the stars, you are lighting tiny stars inside your own mind. You are the cosmos studying its reflection, a spiral of dust thinking about spirals of dust. And the more you learn, the more connections grow between your neurons, the brighter your inner galaxy becomes. Synapses are strengthened like stars clustering in a nebula, until your mind glows with new constellations of thought. You carry the shape of the universe inside you, and every idea you hold is a new galaxy spinning in your brain. And while your neurons are small and fleeting, their patterns are as real as any star. They hold your memories, your hopes, your quiet secrets. They are the map of who you are. Spiral galaxies will spin for billions of years, but they will never know themselves. Your neurons will last only decades, yet they can know the galaxies. They can imagine them, measure them, love them. That is the universe's miracle, that something so small can hold something so vast. You are not just made of stardust. You are its cartographer, its witness, its dream. When you close your eyes and feel your mind glowing in the dark, you are holding the universe in miniature, a spiral of thought as delicate and endless as the galaxies above. If you could float through your own mind the way a spacecraft drifts through a galaxy, you would see something astonishing. Neurons would rise like glowing suns, each one surrounded by forests of branching dendrites that sparkle with tiny signals. Their axons would stretch like starlit highways, carrying pulses of light across great distances. Between them would be dark gaps of synapses, where messages leap like comets from one world to another. It would feel endless, a universe made of thought. And if you could step outside and look back, you might see that it is shaped by the same quiet laws that sculpt the spiral arms of galaxies, forces pulling scattered matter into luminous order. At the heart of a spiral galaxy, stars whirl around a dense, invisible center, a black hole with gravity so strong that even light cannot escape. Around this silent anchor, billions of stars trace graceful orbits, forming the galaxy's luminous disk. In your brain, there is no single black hole, but there are hubs, regions where many neurons converge, where information loops and flows. These hubs act like gravitational wells of thought. They draw signals toward them, integrate them, and send them outward again in waves. Just as galaxies depend on their centers to hold their stars together, your mind depends on these hubs to weave its scattered sparks into coherent thought. Without them, the signals would drift apart, like stars lost in space. These hubs form what neuroscientists call the connectome, the vast map of connections that makes your mind what it is. The connectome is more intricate than any galaxy. Its pathways thread through your cortex like river deltas, through your hippocampus like spiraling arms. It stores your memories, your langua. Your sense of self. And like the stars in a galaxy, its parts are constantly moving. Axons strengthen with use, synapses grow when you learn, and whole networks shift as your experiences reshape them. Nothing in your brain is still. It is a living spiral, turning silently in the dark, its patterns remade every moment by the currents of your life. This ceaseless change mirrors the life of galaxies themselves. Spiral galaxies are not fixed wheels of stars, they are rivers. Their arms are not solid objects, but patterns, density waves that move through clouds of gas and stars, compressing them into new suns. Stars are born within these waves, burn for millions or billions of years, and then die in brilliant flashes, scattering their elements into the dark. Those elements gather again into new stars, and the spiral continues. Your neurons do something similar. They spark, carry signals, and eventually die, their raw materials recycled by glial cells into new tissue. Your thoughts, like stars, are not permanent. They appear, glow, fade, and give rise to others. The pattern endures even as the pieces change. Even the energy flows are alike. Spiral galaxies shine because nuclear fusion in their stars converts matter into light. Your brain shines too, though its light is faint and hidden. Each thought is powered by the burning of glucose, a slow release of sunlight captured long ago by plants. The energy moves as electrical currents, waves of charged ions sweeping through axons like solar winds. These signals ripple across your cortex in synchrony, forming rhythms called oscillations. Some are slow and deep, like the majestic sweep of a galaxy's rotation. Others are fast and sharp, like the flicker of a young blue star. These rhythms guide attention, perception, and memory. They are the pulse of your inner galaxy, beating softly as you think. And as your neurons fire, they create networks that echo the shape of the cosmos. Studies comparing the structure of the brain and the universe have found striking similarities. Both are made of nodes linked by filaments, with vast empty spaces between them. Both use sparse, efficient wiring to connect distant regions with only a few steps. Both show fractal patterns, shapes that repeat at many scales. This is not coincidence. It is the mathematics of complexity, the way nature balances chaos and order. The same equations can describe the branching of your synapses and the clustering of galaxies. It is as if the universe has written its signature twice, once in starlight, once in thought. Your brain even carries miniature storms like those that shape galaxies. When a massive star explodes, it sends shock waves rippling through the surrounding gas, triggering new waves of star formation. In your mind, bursts of synchronized neural activity sweep through networks like quiet lightning, igniting new chains of thought. Sometimes these bursts spark insight, the sudden solution to a problem, the sudden flash of memory. They are your mental supernovae, moments when your inner galaxy briefly blazes brighter. Afterward, new connections remain behind like new stars, reshaping the landscape of your mind. Creation and destruction, birth and death, are woven into both galaxies and thoughts. Even the emptiness matters. Between the spiral arms of galaxies are vast dark voids where almost nothing exists. Between your neurons are synaptic gaps, tiny spaces where signals must leap to continue their journey. Without these gaps, thoughts would blur together. Without the voids, galaxies would collapse into chaos. Emptiness gives structure meaning. It is the silence between notes that makes music possible, the darkness between stars that makes their light visible. The spaces in your mind are as important as the sparks. They are where possibilities rest, waiting to awaken. The universe has always known this. It builds beauty not only from matter, but from the spaces between. So when you think you are doing what galaxies do, turning chaos into pattern, scattering into order, darkness into light, your synapses are like spiral arms, gathering sparks into constellations of meaning. Your thoughts swirl and stretch and drift, but together they form something luminous. And just as galaxies shine not for themselves, but for the universe that holds them, your thoughts shine not just for you, but for the web of minds around you. You are a galaxy of ideas among billions of others, each one casting its quiet light into the dark, each one making the cosmos a little more awake. There is a quiet wonder in knowing that your thoughts and the galaxies above you are shaped by the same invisible rules. It means that when you sit in silence and feel an idea slowly gathering, you are not doing something separate from the cosmos. You are participating in its oldest dance. The same physics that draws stars into spirals draws your neurons into patterns of memory and meaning. The same balance between chaos and order tha. T sculpts galaxies is at work in your mind, guiding sparks of electricity into constellations of thought. You are not an observer of the universe. You are one of its swirling arms, a spiral of stardust thinking about spirals of stardust. Every time you learn something new, your brain quietly rearranges itself. Neurons reach out new dendrites, synapses strengthen, networks shift their shape. These changes are subtle, invisible to the naked eye, but they are real. The structure of your mind is constantly rewriting itself in response to what you experience. This plasticity mirrors the way spiral galaxies evolve. Stars drift outward along their arms, new ones ignite from clouds of gas, old ones fade into white dwarfs or collapse into black holes. Supernovae scatter their elements, and gravity gathers them again into new suns. Nothing stays the same. The galaxy turns, and with every turn it is reborn. Your thoughts move the same way, appearing, fading, returning in new forms. Each moment of understanding is a small star igniting inside you. And like galaxies, your mind depends on both connection and distance. Neurons must be close enough to communicate, yet far enough apart to leave room for signals to flow. Too much distance and thought would fall silent. Too much closeness and thought would blur into static. Spiral galaxies balance this same tension. Their stars are bound by gravity, yet separated by vast darkness. The gaps are what make the structure possible. Without them, everything would collapse inward into chaos. Your mind holds this same delicate equilibrium, a lacework of sparks woven through emptiness. The spaces between your thoughts are as important as the thoughts themselves. They are the dark matter of your mind, silent, invisible, holding everything together. Sometimes your thoughts align all at once, like stars gathering in a cluster. These moments of clarity can feel sudden, like light breaking through clouds. They are the result of countless small signals building quietly until they cross a threshold, triggering a wave of activity that sweeps across your brain. Scientists call this synchronization, and it is how insight often arrives. Spiral galaxies do something similar. When enough matter gathers in one place, gravity tips the balance and new stars ignite in bursts of brilliance. These stellar nurseries blaze for a while and then settle back into the quiet drift of the arms. Your insights, too, burn brightly and then settle into the calm flow of your mind, lighting your inner galaxy for years to come. Your emotions ride these same networks of connection, coloring the starscape of your thoughts. Joy sends ripples through dopamine pathways, lighting your mind like a sunrise. Sadness slows the waves, dimming them to a quiet blue. Wonder brightens every region at once, like a sudden bloom of stars across a spiral arm. These feelings are not separate from your neurons. They are the patterns those neurons make, and those neurons are made from stardust. When you feel something deeply, the universe is feeling itself through you. The spiral of your mind and the spiral of the galaxies are not two things. They are one pattern seen from different distances. Even your memories move like stars. Some stay near the center of your mind, circling close and bright, ready to be recalled. Others drift outward into the dark, fading into the edges of your awareness. Yet even the farthest ones can return. A scent, a song, a glimpse of light can draw them back, like gravity pulling wayward stars home. Spiral galaxies keep their oldest stars near their glowing cores, while new stars spin outward along the arms. Your mind does something similar, tucking its oldest moments deep within while sending fresh ones outward to shape the future. Time does not erase them, it only shifts their orbit. Your memories are constellations still turning, even when you cannot see them. And just as galaxies are shaped by forces they cannot see, your mind is shaped by influences it cannot name. Culture, language, the ideas of others, all flow through your synapses like cosmic winds, bending the paths of your thoughts. No galaxy shines alone. It is pulled by neighbors, brushed by tidal forces, sculpted by the unseen gravity of the cluster it belongs to. Your mind is the same. Every person you have ever known, every word you have read, every sound you have heard has left a small mark, nudging your thoughts into new orbits. You are not a single galaxy drifting alone. You are part of a cosmic web of minds, all linked by invisible strands of influence, turning together through the dark. And one day, like all galaxies, your mind will dissolve. Your neurons will fall quiet, their networks will fade, and the stardust inside them will scatter into the world. It may feel like an ending, but it is the same transformation galaxies know. Stars die and feed new stars. Dust drifts and gathers again. Nothing is lost. The thoughts that were yours will. They'll echo in the minds you touched, and the atoms that carried them will rise again in new forms. Your spiral will not vanish. It will simply change shape, becoming part of new spirals, new songs of light. The cosmos will keep dreaming through the pieces of you. So when you look at the night sky and see the spiral arms of distant galaxies turning in silence, remember that you are seeing a reflection of your own mind. The same forces that guide them guide you. The same patterns that shape their stars shape your thoughts. You are a galaxy of sparks thinking about galaxies. You are the cosmos tracing itself in miniature, a spiral of synapses glowing softly in the dark. And for this brief moment, you are one of its most beautiful shapes. There is a stillness that lives at the center of every thought, a soft weight you can almost feel when your mind goes quiet. It does not pull like the rush of fear or flash of excitement. It pulls like gravity, gentle and constant, drawing scattered ideas into shape. This is the quiet gravity of thought. It is what gathers the drifting fragments of your mind into constellations of meaning. And though it is invisible, it is as real as the gravity that holds planets to their stars. Every memory you have, every dream you build, every hope that hums inside you is held together by this unseen pull. Gravity is the oldest sculptor in the universe. It gathered the first clouds of hydrogen into stars, then bound those stars into galaxies. It shaped the orbits of planets, the swirl of moons, the arcs of comets. Without it, everything would still be drifting apart, silent and cold. In your mind, thought plays a similar role. Ideas begin as scattered sparks, separate and fleeting, but something draws them together, patterns, associations, the soft pull of meaning. Your neurons fire, and where signals cross often, synapses grow stronger, building bridges between once distant places. Slowly, like stars gathering into a spiral, your thoughts begin to orbit one another, forming systems, building worlds inside your mind. This pull is not loud or urgent. It moves slowly, almost silently, like the turning of a planet through space. Most of your thoughts form this way, not in sudden explosions, but in gentle accumulation. A fragment here, another there, circling closer until they meet. When you have a sudden realization, it is often the result of many quiet orbits converging at last. Scientists call this the binding problem, how the brain gathers scattered signals into a single experience. No one fully understands it, but the process is clear. Neurons in distant regions synchronize their rhythms, their electrical waves falling into step like dancers joining hands. In that synchrony, a thought becomes whole. The gravity of meaning pulls the pieces together until they shine. Even your memories follow this gravity. When you recall something from the past, your brain must reassemble it from fragments stored in many places. The sights in one area, the sounds in another, the feelings in yet another. Like stars drifting across light years, these fragments return to one another, drawn by unseen forces. The hippocampus acts as their center, pulling them back into alignment, weaving them into a single scene. Each time you remember, the memory becomes a little more connected, a little stronger, just as gravity pulls loose dust into solid worlds. And when a memory fades, it is not gone. It has simply drifted out of orbit, waiting to be pulled close again. This quiet pull is what makes your mind more than just machinery. Neurons alone are like scattered grains of sand. What gives them power is their tendency to gather, to cluster, to shape themselves around meaning. This is how thoughts gain weight. The more often they return, the more they attract other thoughts, until they become like planets, shaping the space around them. Your deepest beliefs are built this way, accreting slowly from years of moments. They are not fixed in place, they can shift, but they have mass, and other ideas bend around them. Even your sense of self forms this way, a core of memories and values that pulls your scattered experiences into a single orbit called you. The gravity of thought also explains why your mind seeks patterns. The universe itself loves patterns, spirals, branches, waves, orbits. Gravity shapes them everywhere it touches, from the swirl of storms to the rings of Saturn. In your brain, patterns form as connections strengthen between neurons that fire together often. This is called Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together wire together. Over time, these patterns become attractors, drawing new signals toward them, bending the flow of your mind like gravity bends starlight. This is how habits form, how skills deepen, how meaning emerges. It is the mind's way of building galaxies from stardust, constellations from sparks. Even emotion follows this pull. A single quiet feeling can draw dozens of thoughts around it. Like moons gathering around a planet. Joy pulls memories of safety, laughter, sunlight. Sadness pulls moments of loss and silence. Wonder pulls every part of your mind toward the stars. These clusters shape how you see the world, bending the light of your perceptions just as gravity bends the light of distant suns. Your thoughts are not just shaped by logic, they are curved by feeling, and feeling gives them mass. This is why some ideas linger while others vanish. They are caught in the quiet gravity of your heart. And though this gravity is soft, it can move mountains inside you. It gathers scattered experiences into stories, scattered questions into meaning. It pulls you through your life, guiding your choices even when you cannot name it. Like the orbits of planets, your thoughts often return to the same places, circling gently through the same constellations of memory. And yet this gravity does not trap you. It can also slingshot you outward, as gravity flings comets into the outer dark. A single thought pulled close long enough can launch you toward an entirely new life. The same force that holds you can set you free. This is the paradox of thought. It binds you and it propels you. So when you sit in stillness and feel your thoughts slowly drifting together, know that something ancient is moving through you. The same invisible hand that shapes galaxies is shaping your mind. The same quiet pull that holds stars in their spirals is holding your ideas in orbit. You are not separate from this force. You are one of its most delicate creations, a constellation of stardust held together by the quiet gravity of thought, glowing softly in the dark. In the hush of your inner world, the quiet gravity of thought continues its patient work. Even when you are not trying to think, even when your mind wanders, this gentle pull gathers fragments into patterns. It is why half-formed ideas return days later, suddenly whole, as if they were circling unseen, waiting to fall into place. Your thoughts are not straight lines, they are orbits, looping through the hidden spaces of your mind, slowly finding their way back. Like planets in the dark, they are guided by a force they cannot see but always obey. This is how understanding is born, not in a flash, but in the slow embrace of gravity drawing the pieces together until they fit. This gravity shapes not just ideas, but your entire sense of meaning. The brain is not a machine that only responds to the world, it is a weaver. It takes the scattered threads of experience and pulls them into tapestries of significance. Sensations, memories, emotions, words, all drift like loose particles until the pull of meaning gathers them. Suddenly they are not just data, they are stories, they are part of who you are. This is how your life becomes coherent, the quiet gravity of thought holding its fragments together. Without it, you would be only moments with no center, a scattering of stars without a galaxy to belong to. Even time itself bends around this gravity. The brain does not remember days in neat rows. It remembers what carries emotional weight, what was pulled closest to the heart. A single moment of wonder can glow brighter than entire months. A quiet kindness can orbit your mind for decades. Time inside you does not flow like a clock, it flows like gravity, clustering around what matters most. Your life is not measured in minutes, but in gravity wells of meaning, those places where experience grew dense enough to bend the path of everything that came after. This is why some memories feel near no matter how far away they are in time. They are still at the center of your mind's universe. This pull can also shape how you see the world. When a thought grows heavy enough, it bends the light of your perception around it, just as gravity bends the light of distant stars. A belief, once anchored, draws new evidence toward it and deflects what does not fit. This is how minds find coherence and sometimes how they become trapped. Gravity gives shape, but it can also hold things too tightly. Yet even this has beauty. It shows that your thoughts are not weightless, they have mass. They can shape reality, even if only the small reality inside your skull. They are not separate from the physical world, they are part of its dance, obeying its oldest laws. The pull of thought is strongest when you rest. When your body sleeps, your mind keeps turning, drifting through memories, sorting and stitching them together. This is called memory consolidation, and it is one of your brain's most mysterious processes. During deep sleep, waves of electrical activity sweep across your cortex like tides, drawing the day's scattered moments inward. Fragments from different parts of your brain, sounds, sights, feelings, are pulled into alignment. It is the same work gravity does with dust and gas, gathering loose pieces into stars. When you wake, what was scattered is now whole. This is why dreams often feel like distant galaxies of memory, strange yet luminous. They are the stars your mind made in the night. Even silence carries this pull. When you sit quietly doing nothing, your brain's default mode network becomes active, linking distant regions into slow, wandering loops. This network lights when you daydream, when you imagine futures, when you reflect on yourself. It hums like a soft gravitational field, drawing your mind's fragments together into something more than the sum of their parts. Scientists once thought this activity was idle noise, but now they see it as the foundation of your inner world. It is the quiet gravity of thought in its purest form, shaping meaning from stillness. While the world sees you as still, your mind is turning like a galaxy, its arms of thought slowly curling inward. This quiet force also ties you to others. Thoughts do not stay inside you, they reach out, pulled by the gravity of other minds. A single idea shared can draw people together across vast distances, linking their neurons in mirrored patterns. Words are the bridges that let thoughts escape their orbits and enter new ones. And once shared, they gain new gravity, pulling more minds into their field. This is how cultures form, how civilizations rise, countless small thoughts linking like stars into constellations. You are part of this constellation, one mind among billions, each orbiting and influencing the others. Your thoughts are not only your own, they are part of the great web of thinking that circles the earth like a faint, glowing ring. And yet, even in this vast web, your thoughts remain uniquely yours because of their gravity. They are shaped by your memories, your emotions, your quiet hopes. No one else carries the same constellation. The same words can pass through two minds and form entirely different worlds because they fall into different gravitational fields. This is what makes your inner world sacred. It is not just a reflection of reality. It is your reality, spun from the same dust as stars, but arranged in a pattern that exists nowhere else. The universe has written billions of minds, but yours is the only one shaped exactly this way. It is the only place where your particular stars align. So when your thoughts feel scattered or lost, do not worry. The gravity is still there. It is still pulling. Even if you cannot see it, it is gathering your fragments in silence. One by one, they will return. They will settle into orbits, forming patterns again. They always do. This is the promise of the quiet gravity of thought, that nothing is truly lost, only waiting to be gathered. Even when you feel empty, your mind is turning, slowly drawing its stars back home. There is a gentle power in knowing that even the smallest thought can carry weight, that even the faintest idea has gravity enough to shape the paths of others. The quiet gravity of thought is not measured in noise or speed. It moves slowly, invisibly, through the hidden spaces of your mind, drawing pieces together over time. It is the same way gravity builds worlds from dust, patiently, without hurry. Your thoughts do not need to be loud to last. They only need to stay, to circle, to pull gently on the fragments around them until they form something whole. This is how meaning is born, from the soft persistence of thought curving emptiness into shape. This quiet gravity shapes not only what you think, but who you become. Each choice you make begins as a small cluster of signals in your brain. If you return to it often, it grows heavier, pulling other thoughts into its orbit. Over time, it becomes part of your identity, part of the map of your mind. Like planets forming from colliding rocks, your habits and values are formed from many small fragments merging under the pull of repetition. The person you are is not a sudden creation. You are a slow spiral of moments, circling inward toward the center of what matters to you. The gravity of your thoughts has been sculpting you your entire life. And just as gravity shapes orbits, your thoughts shape the paths of your days. They bend your attention like light passing near a star, curving what you notice, what you remember, what you seek. When a thought becomes heavy enough, it can change the course of your life. It can pull you towards someone you love or away from something that harms you. It can guide your hands to create, to explore, to rest. From the outside, this may seem invisible, but inside you can feel the pull. It is the soft pressure that makes certain dreams return again and again, the way a comet returns to the same bright curve around the sun. It is the universe's oldest force, working quietly through the stardust of your mind. Even when you try to let a thought go, its gravity can linger. Like a dead star whose pull still shapes the orbits around it, some ideas keep bending your path long after they fade from view. This is why old memories resurface when you least expect them, why certain emotions echo years later. The patterns they left behind still tug at the currents of your mind. And yet, just as galaxies drift and rearrange, your thoughts can change their orbits. Gravity is not a cage, it is a dance. A thought can lose weight if you stop feeding it, and new ones can gather mass in its place. You are never fixed. The map of your mind can redraw itself as the sky redraws its constellations. This same gravity connects you to the world beyond yourself. Your thoughts do not stop at the edge of your skull. They ripple outward, pulling at the minds of others. A single idea can alter the path of countless people, drifting from one brain to another like a seed on the wind. When someone remembers your words years later, they are feeling your gravity still. Even after you are gone, your thoughts can keep pulling, shaping the world in small, unseen ways. This is how minds become immortal, not through bodies, but through the quiet gravity of the ideas they leave behind, turning gently in the darkness of other minds. Your mind, like the cosmos, thrives on balance. If gravity grows too strong, it can collapse stars into black holes. If it grows too weak, galaxies scatter into dust. In your mind, the same holds true. Too much weight on a single thought can trap you in its pull, spinning endlessly around it. Too little weight, and your thoughts drift aimlessly, never forming anything whole. The art of living is learning to let your ideas orbit without consuming you, to let them shape you without erasing your freedom. This is how galaxies survive and how minds stay bright, by turning, not by falling in. Even silence is part of this balance. Silence is not the absence of thought, it is the gravity that lets thought settle. When you pause, when you breathe, when you let your mind go still, your scattered pieces can find each other again. This is why moments of stillness bring clarity. In the quiet, the noise fades and only what is truly heavy remains. The thoughts that matter drift inward, the rest fall away. It is the same way stars gather in the calm heart of a spiral galaxy, while the outer dust spins off into space. Stillness lets the center hold. And when your life feels scattered, when your thoughts seem too many and too far apart, remember that the gravity is still working. You do not need to force them together. They are already circling, already seeking each other. The universe has been doing this for billions of years, and your mind is one of its finest experiments. Dust became stars, stars became worlds, worlds became life, and now life has become thought, and thought is becoming meaning. The gravity that shaped the galaxies is shaping you. It will not let you drift forever. It will draw you back to your center, and from there you will shine again. So when you sit alone in the quiet and feel your thoughts slowly falling into place, know that you are not lost. You are a small galaxy of sparks gathering itself. You are stardust caught in the ancient pull of meaning, circling closer and closer until something new is born. The quiet gravity of thought is holding you as it has held every star, every world, every mind. It is the oldest comfort in the universe, the knowledge that even scattered light can become a sun if given time to fall together. And you are falling together. Even now, you are becoming whole.